Hello and welcome to the 2011 season of the Intercontinental Rally Challenge, and what an opening! The centenary of the Rally Monte Carlo. This world famous event started in 1911, and thanks to its newfound home as the IRC opener, it's still going strong in 2011. Day 1, 4 stages, 128 or so kilometres. Day 2, a further 94 spread over 4 challenging stages, and then of course the climax with the ultimate night stages on the Col de Torini. The whole thing makes for an amazing mix of weather, guts and verve, and an awful lot of luck thrown in for good measure. Welcome to the Rally Monte Carlo. 120 crews lucky enough to be selected from the 300 that applied, and they find themselves at the service park in Valence. And with its infamous unpredictable weather conditions, this is one of the most technically difficult and physically challenging rallies that there is on the planet. Keeping ahead is what it's all about. Well, with an incredible list, including such big names as Johan and the reigning champion Peter Solberg, Francois Delacour, Stefan Sarazan, former Formula 1 driver Alex Caffey, Peggy Anderson. Yes, these are the crews that put their names in the history books of the centenary edition of the Rally Monte Carlo. Only the top 60 will qualify to tackle the night stages of the Col de Torini. So, who will it be? What a lineup. No wonder the fans were drawn out in their tens of thousands into the centre of Valence and peppered throughout the stage. Awesome. For the 100th anniversary of the Monte Carlo, a royal visitor, Prince Albert II of Monaco. The Prince visited Val-les-Bains and Artrège on Wednesday before having a ride with Jean Ragnotti at the Saint Bonnet-le-Foy special stage. His Serene Highness Prince Albert II of Monaco, yes, an authentic motorsports fan, but this is the 79th edition, the centenary. Yes, I think it's a very big battle between Peugeot's and Peter Solberg of Stefan Sarazan and Brian Bouffier, the 2010 French champion, and the Skodas with Johan and Nico Vuillos, and of course Freddie Loix, and let's not forget former Rally Monte Carlo winner Francois Delacour. And famous Formula 1 drivers like Alex Caffey, who he remembers, and we follow the results with great interest, he says. I also have to encourage all the Monegasque contenders. I do that directly, and wish Daniel Elena the very best. It's very special to see him, of course, driving with number 100 at the start of the rally. That contribution to the special feel of this real celebration that is, of course, our centenary. It should be an excellent festival. Well, it was a disaster for Andreas Mikkelsen, who was making his Monte Carlo debut on the very first special, stage 1. Yes, it didn't last long, unfortunately. Yes, slid, as you will see in a few moments' time. The impact looked innocuous, but sadly the Fabia's rear suspension was done and dusted, and he had to retire. Came in on the spokes, but it was all over. Yes, it seems just a bit too much enthusiasm in the cold wind.
Cold tires was the problem. We warmed the tires very good up before the first stage, and standing there for 3 minutes, and of course it's cold outside, so the tires were completely cold again after that. So big shame, but I would never imagine the tires being so warm and so cold in only 3 minutes. So basically the first proper right-hand corner, which was quite twisty, the car just slid out, so no chance.
Well, the last time we saw Nico Vuillos in a rally car was a year ago, and it was basically in the Rally Monte Carlo when he finished third last year. At this time by, well, it wasn't to be too special either, unfortunately for him. Loose gravel on the top of the surface, newly re-tarmacked road, gave him a puncture. He lost 3 minutes and 15 right from the off and was fighting back from that moment on. PG Anderson, the first official rally of the new Proton car. His team bet on him. And Chris Atkinson had electrical troubles. Anderson, of course, as you see, got himself an impact, breaking the suspension, and both cars were out before we almost even started. Stefan Sarazan made a big impression on the opening stage, 20 seconds clear of most of the field. The problem, yes, of an intercom though on stage 3 saw him drop down the order, and he lost another couple of positions on 4 due to Solberg on full attack out there. As for Peter Solberg, yes, huge expectation for him, lots of experience, 8 runs here in the rally. Best finishing place was 5th in the Impreza. Well, it's a new car, of course, for him for this one. It's a special visit, really, courtesy of the Peugeot Citroën Group. Had a great time and finished day 1 in 3rd place overall. Freddie Loix rounded out the opening day of Rally Monte Carlo with his first stage win of the IRC season. The Belgian was just 0.7 seconds faster than defending champion and Skoda Motorsport teammate Johannen through the second run of Saint-Boin-le-Foy. Hannon himself, well, he came out of the box looking very, very quick, very, very early on. Yes, his Skoda looking trim and ready for battle. Yes, he was having such a good run, didn't take many risks, had a good clean drive and powering his way through the stages. He was pleased.
Good day, no problem with the car and no mistakes, and we had quite good tires for all of these stages, and cannot be disappointed.
And then looking very, very good ahead of Loix at the end of the day. Sarazan just fading to 4th place behind Peter Solberg, with Guy Wilkes nice and steady in 5th place on his new Chariot, of course, driving for Peugeot this year. Kubetsky, Bouffier, the French champion, Delacour, the great old stager winner in '94, Vignon and Morin making up the top 10. Daniel Elena, Manuel Villa, Tony Jardine, well-known production class drivers in their own rights, but here on the 2010 Monte Carlo Rally, and kind of, yeah, towards the back of the field, but they were having such good fun out there. 7 times World Rally champion as a co-driver for Sebastian Loeb. Daniel Elena driving for himself, and he says, yeah, it's a project here. I'm always been known as a co-driver, but I prepare myself in a particular way. I've got nothing to prove, he said. My aim is here to do well. Now the dream turning into a nightmare on day 1 though, with a broken clutch for Daniel Elena. Yes, managed to continue the rally nonetheless. It's okay, we still race, he says. That's the spirit. Meanwhile, Tony Jardine, pressure is on for him as well. He's managing to keep his car in the top 70, but couldn't find a service team later on.
3 right, 70, good stuff, Tony, good stuff. Come on to house.
Well, you have to if you can't find your team, Tony. Manuel Villa, things got a bit clearer. Small above 500. Sadly, not survived the trip to Burze, stage 2, and the 1400 turbo. Coming to an end right there. What happened? Well, you saw it. After this, the drama of day 2 on this year's Monte Carlo. There was plenty of it as well. Stay with us. Welcome back to the IRC, the 100th centenary edition, the centenary of the great event which started in 1911. That's what we had on the cards, and thanks to the great work from the ice crews, the reigning IRC champion Johannen had a great start to the day. Fastest time on special stage 5, what the Finn described as a very tricky stage. Stage 6 was a nicer stage for the Finn, admitted to taking the stage carefully, finished 3rd fastest, lost some time to his nearest rival Peter Solberg, but kept the overall lead. Said he was hoping for a little snow. Well, you have to be careful what you wish for in this game. Just 0.2 seconds off Hannon on 5 was Peter Solberg, opted for a soft setup and tyres for the first stages of day 2. Still finding the car and having an absolute dream driving it, he said, enjoying every minute. It's what he loves to do best, and who'd deny him that pleasure. Great to see him in action. Not quite the slick gear change he's used to, but he was making the car dance. Freddie Loix losing a few seconds with a sticking throttle, also made a couple of mistakes with the Skoda, losing him time and allowing Peter Solberg to jump ahead of him into 2nd place. Well, maybe that just heaped the pressure on Hannanen, because he started to look over his shoulder ever so slightly. Yes, ignoring Freddie Loix further down the order, probably costly as well. Freddie looking very, very quick out there. Meanwhile, Frenchman Stéphane Sarrazin found issues with grip during the morning stages. He was sliding around too much. Some turns were very slippery. Yes, he managed to maintain his overall fourth place, just 1.9 seconds off Loix. So a real podium battle starting to shape up. Well, nice and clear, but as you see, leaden skies, and they were going to tell their own story. Jan Kopecky moved ahead of Guy Wilkes in the first stage of day 2, but the Czech Skoda Works drivers did not making a big impression on the Rally Monte Carlo, sadly for him. Yes, all eggs in one basket. Perhaps they well, be brewing that, but Kopecky will get quicker through the season. It's just when. Peugeot UK's Guy Wilkes dropped time with a big slide close to the start of the morning. Wilkes also said his car damper settings were too stiff and perhaps still coming to terms with his new Peugeot. Wilkes admitting he was lacking a bit of confidence after that morning slide. Well, local knowledge can pay huge dividends in an event like this, and Brian Bouffier, yes, winner of the French Championship on some of these roads as well, driving a hard compound he was, and it worked well for him. He took his first fastest time of the rally, 1.2 seconds faster than Solberg on stage 6. And then leading Solberg, Loix, Sarrazin, Kopecky and Wilkes, the top 6. It was all about tyres. The weather was changing. What would happen? But until now, if the roads are very difficult, conditions are humid, a bit icy. But now everybody talks about snow, and a lot of things could change out there. It can be local, the weather. You don't know precisely when it's going to come. So timing, how the weather systems move, it's going to be very, very difficult out there. Soft, medium, hard. What would it be? Snow, dry. Yes, it just started to spin a little bit. Everyone was worried. François Delacour saying in 5 minutes we have to choose a tyre and we have to stay focused and calm. Everybody's talking about the snow, and maybe rain, maybe snow. Depends on how damp the road is already. There's a lot to consider out there. Is it white? Is it wet? Nobody knows really. Trying to get information. Well, the situation very difficult for everybody. Jürgen Hannen, his lead of 51 seconds, quite a cushion one would think, but Euro not talking himself up at this point.
50 seconds, so much can happen. So it's like rally started again from the zero now. Nothing is clear yet, and still, even we need to know the tires after a few minutes. We are not completely sure what we will put and then. But it's interesting for everyone, and we will see what we can find from the stages.
Yeah, we will see. Unfortunately, he was looking over his shoulder at Peder Solberg. Yes, went for intermediate tyres. It wasn't a great choice, and Hallinan went for exactly the same. Bouffier could put a couple of studs in the back. Delacour went for full studs, and that proved to be an absolutely genius decision. Peder Solberg spinning on stage 7 and on 8, brushing against the wall, trying to guess which kind of tyres he was going to need for the last loop, and in that choice he failed.